All right, guys, what's going on? Needs more drums back in what seems like it's been quite a minute since I've actually feel like I've actually jumped into City Skylines. I know I recorded a couple videos and kind of usually I try to like to get ahead and have a couple recorded, but lately that's just not been the case. I've been real busy with work. Um, my weekends have been busy with other things that aren't work, but it's like, man, I just feel like I've had no time. But yep, we're back in City Skylines in our city of Percusion in our region of Los Baterias. And as you can see, not doing so great with the commercial side of things. A lot of abandonment going on, mainly because these are all like super high level, and I put them down not really considering that, and kind of screwed myself. But it's okay. We'll come back and fix those later, probably off camera or something, because I don't really feel like dealing with that right now. But what I do want to do is I have a couple things in mind for the next couple videos, and I wanted to record a couple videos kind of like within the next couple days, because as of now it is a couple days before the new patch is coming out. So if you don't know, there is a patch coming out, and by the time you see this video, it probably is already out for City Skylines. There's like, it's called a Hubs and Transport, I think that's the name of the DLC. It's like a mini DLC, and it comes with a bunch of new transit hubs, a bunch of new roads, transit vehicles, and some other upgrades, and some little things to the game. I'm guessing maybe like some more trees or something, judging by the screenshots. There was like a red, sort of look like an elm tree or something, or a maple or something. Something else you can use to put on the street, decorate the streets a little bit. So yeah, always excited for these new DLCs coming out, and it's cool that they're actually releasing a lot of these, even though the new City Skylines 2 is coming out in 2023. We still get some new content for City Skylines 1. So if you don't feel like you can afford the new City Skylines when it comes out, or you think that you don't have a good enough computer to run it, or any of those things, you can still play the original City Skylines, and it'll be still around and still a great game. So yeah, it's still cool that they're releasing some content for it in the coming months. But anyway, with that being said, I wanted to get a couple videos done, and so just I kind of cleared out a few areas with some things that I have in mind. And well, the first thing I guess I should say is that I filled in a couple empty spots since we redeveloped the suburbs, and meaning this little spot here, I put some apartments there that was empty before, and also these couple blocks right here, I actually didn't get a chance to redevelop these for whatever reason, because I was lazy and had been building for so long. I was like, screw it, I'll get those later. And I finally got around to building these. So I found these cool little assets that I had sitting around. I think these are by Smiley's, these modern apartments. These are also by him, I think, too. And these little row houses. And, so are these, but these are already there. But yeah, so I filled in these little areas here. I think that looks a lot better. And I just kind of, I always kind of struggle with what to do like up against these train lines. But from what I can always tell, like when I go into the city on the train, they always have just a lot of trees. So I went ahead and just kind of made some trees along there. And, from a distance, it looks relatively decent. So can't complain. But yeah, for today, what are we going to do? So this area I cleared out. I was unhappy with this development. I'm going to do something with this in the next episode. And all this is going to get redone too. All this whole suburb and everything, I'm going to redo that. But for now, I want to focus on this area down here. And this is actually going to be a little bit, quite a big build, I think, actually. I'm really excited to work in this area. As you might remember before, this was just a big park. So there was nothing here besides like a bike trail and some trees and a little couple of paths. It was just a placeholder because I knew that I wanted to do something here, but I couldn't figure out exactly what it was yet. But now I think I have an idea of what I want to put here, and I'm really excited to do this. Yeah, I'm super excited. And then this area here, I also have an idea of what I'm going to do with this. So this build today is going to be a little bit of like a combination between a live play and some time lapses, because I haven't done that in a while. I feel like I've been doing a lot of time lapses, and even though this is a big build, I'll kind of skip through some of the lengthier parts where I just kind of got to sit and build things. But for the most part, I kind of want to talk through what I'm doing. And yeah, I'm super excited to get started. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video, and actually, before I start building, I'm gonna do a little something that I never do is say, hey, if you're checking out the channel for the first time and you are If you've seen some of the other videos, awesome. If you haven't, you know, maybe go check them out and see some of the progress that we've made on the city. And I feel like my videos have gotten better over time, so don't be disappointed if the earlier videos are kind of crappy. But yeah, you know, I like to think that the channel is growing, and well, it is growing a little bit, and I'm really thankful for each and every one of you guys that have subscribed and comment and like the videos. It means a lot to me that you guys are actually interested in what I'm doing. And if you haven't subscribed, liked, or commented yet, I highly encourage you to do so. It'll help push these videos, you know, get them recommended to more people, and then hopefully lead to more views and more subscribers and more of a better reason for me to keep doing this and spending my time doing this. So I really enjoy it. You know, I'm not in it for the money or anything, but I'm not, you know, making any money at all yet with this. But you know, it just helps to know that you guys are still interested, and I really appreciate all of the support. Now that rant is over, let's actually jump into the build, because the first thing that I want to do is bring a connection to our city, an outside connection. And that is going to be with this harbor. I want to add the ability to take a cruise ship into Percusion and, you know, maybe stop here on a cruise. And I know this is not the prettiest area to put this, but you know what? A lot of these big sort of what should I call it? Like an outside connection terminal, you know, they're oftentimes located by industry because it's, you know, noisy. It's going to attract a lot of traffic. And this is just the perfect place for it, because I didn't really want, you know, if I put it out here, it's a little bit far. This will still actually give us a nice proximity to the city center. And the reason that I'm doing this now is because I kind of want to have an idea of where I want to put some public transport in the future. And so as of now, the city has 0 public transport, which I'm going to deal with in, you know, pretty soon. But I kind of wanted to get the city. I knew that the city would change a lot. And so I wanted to kind of develop some of the bigger areas just so I know where I want some of the more dense transport hubs to sit. And so this is going to be one of those areas with what we're going to build down here right now. And then, you know, obviously the downtown and then some of these individual suburbs are going to have some transport hubs too. So for now, let's start with down here, get this area built out, and then we can go back and kind of revisit some of the transport, revisit the transport situation, because it is awful at the moment. I mean, there is literally no public transport in Percusion at all. But that's okay, you know, it's fine. What do you could expect? So yeah, so for this, you know what? It might actually be nice to put down some trees along the roads. And I think for these, I know that I haven't used any of these yet, but I do want to put down some palm trees, because I like palm trees and I think they look really good. And our city, you know, I mean, come on, it's a game, and I don't really, I know I like to try to make my cities realistic in terms of type of trees that I use and everything. But in this case, I want to put down palm trees because, you know what? I like palm trees. Don't really care. It's my game. It's my city. I do what I want. So we're gonna put down some palm trees, and I actually think those look pretty good. Nice little, you know, something pretty when you're coming in to on the cruise ship and you get out and you're like, man, we're in a nice little tropical city here, even though we're not, you know, sort of a more European kind of Italian looking type deal or something. But I don't know. So yeah, so that's good for now, and I'll detail this up a little bit later. But yeah, the reason that I wanted to choose this cruise ship terminal is mainly because we don't have it. Like I said, we don't really have any outside connections yet. I know that we have the train, but I honestly don't even know if it's really functioning. I gotta kind of check that, because it doesn't look like anybody's even using it. And I hope it's not the tracks or the asset or something like that that's causing it not to attract any passengers, because that would make me really sad. I haven't really seen any passenger trains coming in. Seen a lot of freight trains, but no passenger trains. But also part of it could be because I haven't set up any passenger lines, so I'm sure that'll be better. But once we have some intercity trains, it would, you know, I would like to think that we'd be getting a little bit of tourism here. But as of now, it doesn't look like we are, which I guess there's really nothing to do here other than, you know, working the steel mill anyway. So who really cares? But yeah, whatever. So the next thing that I want to do is I'm not too sure what I'm going to do like right here with this area. I think I'm gonna make it a combination of some parking and probably some sort of industrial warehouse space, because this is still pretty much an industrial area. And then yeah, maybe I'll have a little maybe something else down here, some kind of cool, maybe a fish market or something. We'll think about doing that, since we'll probably get some fishing industry down here. And you know what, actually, even though we don't have any fishing industry as of now, I think having this here just as a little placeholder might remind me to do some of that. So I'm gonna just place this down, and I'm just gonna turn it off so we're not actually importing any goods. But that'll remind me to kind of come back and rebuild the fish industry, like as we progress, you know, out here in the industrial area. So yeah, just keeping a nice little placeholder there for right now. And then over here, I do want to place down a parking garage and probably a parking lot as well, since, you know, this is obviously going to be a really, really busy area. And I think that it only makes sense to have a nice, you know, pretty big parking setup around here. Oh, so there we go. We got some parking all squared away. Now I would like to put a few industrial buildings kind of over here to, you know, show that this is still like a pretty bustling industrial area, and then it's still, you know, sees a lot of imports and exports, especially since we got this market here. And you know what? I actually found these super cool old generic industry buildings that are just perfect for this area. I love kind of like the old meets the new, and these old buildings like this are super common around, you know, some of these harbor areas, you know, by the seaports and stuff. So I think that's a really, really cool addition, and I think it looks, you know, just perfectly in place in an area like this. All right, here I actually decided to put down a couple of office buildings, because you think in an area like this, you know, you might have some you know, travel agencies or any kind of employees of even some of the accounting offices for some of these industrial corporations might be needing a place to work around here. So just having these right here is kind of a nice bridge between, you know, the industrial area that's going to transition into this, you know, different kind of area here, which is going to be, so what I want to do here is, if the title didn't give it away already, I want to build a whole university, and then have the stadium sit here. And then I actually have this whole area kind of be like a park with the beach. We don't actually have a beachfront yet, and this was all sand, and I actually decided to remove that because I'm gonna use this as sort of like a seaside, you know, either like bike trail or tram line, or maybe put like a marina here of some sort. And I think that will really help, you know, kind of make sure that this whole coastline is just beautiful and nice and developed. Probably put even a few, you know, different housing buildings here, maybe some cool like apartment complexes, maybe even like a theme park or something. I don't know. You know, still haven't really decided what I want to do with the coastline, but I definitely want to, you know, have a couple of designated beaches along the coastline that aren't, and instead of having this whole coastline be just one giant, you know, beach is pretty unrealistic. So this is going to be one of them, and it's going to be connected to the stadium here, which I haven't really decided which one I want to build yet, but I think I'm going to do something that actually fits, because it looks like a big area, but it's really not. And once we start getting down like all the public transport and, you know, everything, it's going to be a little bit smaller than I think. So I think what I want to do is maybe start with a basketball arena. I think that would look really, really cool here. And you figure like basketball arenas have way more functions than just any kind of football stadium, I guess. You know, basketball arenas, I know, you know, I guess football stadiums too can do it, but in this case, since this basketball arena does like an enclosed building, you know, I figure it could probably be used for hockey in the off season, or some kind of, you know, convention or conference center, you know, a concert venue, definitely. So there's a lot of different uses for something like this. And so having this close to an entry point for the city but not directly in the downtown, will kind of divert a lot of that busy traffic from the downtown and sort of create a second destination where people might go for a lot of events. So I'm going to definitely put that down right here. But first I need to get a few roads laid out so that I know exactly what we want to do. I'm just using this to make sure I get the right angle on this road here, and then I can, you know, kind of build off of this like that. I actually don't really want to connect. I don't want to have too many roads over here. I'd kind of like to keep this more of a like a pedestrian friendly access point, you know. So once you get kind of to this beach, have some pedestrian paths kind of connecting everything up instead of just a bunch of roads going everywhere. Now, hopefully this fits the way I want it to. I'm a little bit nervous that it might be a little too big, but it actually looks like it's going to be just fine. And that'll be perfect because we can make sort of like a little, you know, kind of retaining wall around here so that it, you know, looks really nice. The only thing is, yeah, this beachfront is going to be a problem. And I think, you know what, maybe I'll just bring this down a little bit. It looks pretty good. And I think we can, you know, we'll use some detail and some trees and bushes to kind of hide some of these terrain imperfections. But for now, I'm happy with that. But yeah, so now that we have this built, and this is, I'm going to save this spot for a little bit later because this spot right here is kind of going to be where any kind of transit hub for this area is going to sit. So I want to kind of keep that open. And I know it's not a lot of space to work with, but I still think we can get quite a bit to, you know, kind of fit in this area. So we're going to save that for now. But what I want to do next is the main part of this build, which is going to be the university. And I'm super excited to build this because we actually don't really have a university yet. And as you can see, education was a big reason why all of these companies were failing. So I think having that now and setting it up for the long term, as opposed to just having this one university, you know, it might be a little bit better for the city in the long term. So in terms of the actual one that I want to build, I've built universities, I've built trade schools. I've never really built the liberal arts campus. So let me first go ahead and zone out a university area. And let me know, guys, some naming suggestions for this park here. That's going to be the name of the stadium. So it'll be, you know, whatever stadium. And then this campus area is going to be, you know, obviously the name of something. So if you could think of any cool names, any drum related or percussion related names, or any names of any drummers or musicians, I'm always curious to see, you know, what you guys would suggest. So yeah, let me know. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and start building this out. And so one thing that I always like to do when I build my universities is make sure that it's not too road heavy. I like to rely more on the you know, like bike paths and the university pathways. I think it helps, you know, kind of keep the university feel. Typically, you don't have too many cars driving through the university campus. So I'm trying to capture that here as well. So I think, you know, we'll have a few, obviously, but, you know, nothing too crazy. And I think I already kind of have the main roads of like the actual roads that I want to travel through the campus. And so I think I'm just going to connect up these 3 points here and just, you know, kind of go off of that for now. And it looks like that, yeah, this would be a good main road because it connects downtown to the city as well. And yeah, so just some placeholders for now. Who knows if that's actually going to be the final roads. And, you know, I know this area looks really big, but when you start putting down these buildings, it's really not. I mean, this is going to be a pretty, you know, small university, pretty compact, I think. But, you know, we're going to do what we can. And I think a lot of the administrative buildings I kind of want to put on this side of the campus. So I'm going to start with the campus admin building just right here. That thing is humongous. And then we will build what we can for now until we can, you know, level up and build a little bit more. So I don't want to put this too close to the stadium because I don't think it would actually be there. I think it would be nice to give the dorms, you know, maybe a nice view of the water. So this might be kind of a, you know, a school that like everybody wants to go to. Might be, you know, something a little more, maybe a little more expensive, but nothing super unaffordable, hopefully. And of course, I always need to find a little sneaky spot to put the groundskeeping. Usually I like to kind of hide them inside some other buildings if I can. But in this case, you know, I think I'm going to kind of put them just over here. Seems like a nice little spot. The drama club. Yes, we definitely need one of these. Can't have a liberal art school without a drama club, that is for sure. This is actually nice. I always like how in these, the university DLC, you know, each university has certain buildings that actually do improve your city. And in this case, it looks like we can start with the School of Education, which actually increases the capacity of our schools, and they get educated, students are educated more efficiently. So that is actually really nice for what we need. And you know what? I think this actually fits really well right here. So we're going to go ahead and move this study hall to somewhere a little bit better than where it was. Let's put it over here for now. And move it once again saves the day. Yeah, if you just hold Alt and make that height adjustment, it actually will allow you to, well, if you hold Alt and select, you can actually select the nodes of the pathway. So that actually really helps. Awesome. Cool. Got that out of the way. And now I can go ahead and place down our School of Education, which is a massive building, but it looks really cool. So I like that a lot. And I kind of like the idea of this, you know, not being like a completely flat campus and probably having some more interesting terrain. You know, it's always cool when campuses are kind of built like on some hills. You know, it lends for some interesting designs. So I'm really excited to see what we end up doing here with some of this. And so now I know these universities, the cool thing about this university DLC is that you can actually have a lot of creative freedom when it comes to, you know, placing things down and everything like that. So, you know, these buildings are kind of free form as long as you're in the campus area. So what we could do now is actually go ahead and make our own, you know, little series of pathways and networks and such. So I'm going to go ahead and take the time to do that and get everything kind of straightened out a little bit more now that I kind of have a better idea of where some of these things are going to sit. And so what I wanted to do there was just kind of make some of these colors of the buildings just a little bit darker, and so they don't kind of stand out as much. I know it does, I gotta say though, it does fit, you know, if we're kind of going for like some kind of Mediterranean, European style, it does definitely fit the area. Yeah, so this is actually looking, you know, in terms of the layout, I really like what's going on here. So I think I am just gonna go ahead and detail some of this up in a quick time lapse, and then we can kind of come back and wrap up the episode. So I will just put on some music and let you guys, you know, watch this and talk to you guys in a bit. All right, and you know what? I'm actually pretty happy with how this turned out for now. I think this is good enough, for a little bit of detail. Just, just some trees. I got this little beach area kind of set up. I like these umbrellas are actually vanilla assets. They're not called umbrellas. They're actually called parasols, which is actually interesting because I think that's the translation of from Spanish. It's actually what it's called in Spanish. So parasol is literally sun stopper. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, same with you actually call like umbrellas that are meant for the rain, you call them paraguas, literally water stoppers. So sun stoppers and water stoppers, you got plenty of those here on the beach. And these little lifeguard stands, they're not vanilla, but I got them from the workshop, and they are fantastic just for adding that little bit of detail to any beach area. It kind of makes it, come to life a little bit. And the chairs are actually vanilla too with the Park Life DLC. So really happy I got those placed down. And, just a little bit, I might have went a little overkill on the vegetation, but I don't really think so. This area is kind of overgrown, especially on the beach side here. Nice little separation between the beach and the more manicured stadium area. So that's really nice. And again, nothing too crazy, just a couple trees here and there. Gonna leave this pretty wide open, I think, for now. We'll, maybe come back to that later. But sometimes when you put too many trees, it can get a little bit too cluttered. I like to keep it nice and clean. So there we go. And then this I'm leaving for now. I'm not going to actually detail this up at the moment because I want to wait and see kind of when we get some public transport. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, this is going to be like the public transport hub. So we'll see what we get going on over here. I'm guessing maybe like some trams, probably a little bus station, maybe even an inner city bus station or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, probably a metro for sure as well out here. And yeah, I really actually like how the university turned out. I think it looks really, really nice so far. And, I didn't do much over here, just some trees and some pathways, just until, the university is going to obviously expand. So this is kind of like some future area that is owned by the city. So as the university expands, we will expand to these areas as well. And it'll look, really, really nice and complete. And I mean, I hope that we don't have to expand much more than this. But if so, maybe we'll, I don't really plan on expanding much more than that. So I think we'll kind of work with what we got. I don't like the university to be too big, even in the scale of the city. Like, I mean, you could already see that just stands out a lot. I mean, those buildings are huge, but it'll look better in once we start getting some of this area developed with some bigger buildings and stuff too. It'll look a lot, a lot better. But yeah, I'm really happy with it for now. This is the end of the episode. Yeah. But anyway, hope you guys have a great week, and I'm really excited for the next one. And hopefully, you can get your hands on the new DLCs when they come out, or the new little mini expansions, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I got some fun things in the works, so stay tuned. Again, like and subscribe and comment if you haven't. Any name suggestions for the park, the stadium, the university, anything at all around this area, we need some names. And I'm super excited. We did a lot in this episode, and this area looks way, way more complete than it did before. So thanks again for the support, and I will talk to y'all later. See ya.